Indonesia pledges $1 billion in war on plastic waste. Plastic waste is a major global problem, and second only to China, the world's biggest source of the pollutant is Indonesia. Responsible for a massive 54,000 kilometers of coastline, the Indonesian government has vowed to do its part to reduce plastic in the environment, with a pledge to spend $1 billion on the problem. And it is indeed a global problem, one which the United Nations has declared a war on. Each day, more and more plastic finds its way into our oceans. As plastic does not decompose, much of it collects in the open ocean, driven by currents. One such concentration is known as the Great Pacific Plastic Patch. Another of these floating patches is larger than France. Scientists believe the entire mass of oceanic plastic could outweigh all the fish in the world's oceans in 30 years. And today's estimated 165 million tons of the stuff in our oceans is already getting into our food supply. So you know what to do: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Take a reusable bag to the supermarket, refill that water bottle, and avoid foods with excessive packaging. Do it for those future grandkids, yeah? Don't want to live in a post-apocalyptic hellscape in 20 years? Then quick, watch these. The Pacific Ocean is full of plastic waste. Initial results from the first aerial survey of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch suggest that ocean pollution is worse than we thought. The Ocean Cleanup Foundation is conducting a series of aerial surveys over an area of plastic accumulation in the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and California. Flying at low altitude and low speed, the survey uses LiDAR technology to analyze the density and frequency of plastic ocean debris. Recording the presence of debris larger than 0.5 meter by 1.5 meters, the crew found more than 1,000 pieces of plastic during a 2.5-hour test flight. The survey also aims to document discarded fishing nets known as ghost nets, which are difficult to detect and can ensnare marine life. Researchers from the Great Ocean Cleanup said understanding the scope of the problem would help future efforts to remove trash from the Pacific.
New report says plastic will outweigh fish in the oceans by 2050. By 2050, plastic rubbish in the oceans will outweigh fish, according to a new report by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation released at the World Economic Forum in Davos this week. The United States, Europe, and Asia together account for 85% of plastics production, roughly split between the US and Europe on one side and Asia on the other. Some 95% of plastic packaging produced each year is lost to the economy after a single use. Out of all the plastic produced every year, only 5% is recycled effectively. Around 40% is buried in landfills, and about 32% reaches the oceans. This corresponds to dumping the contents of one garbage truck into the ocean every minute. The production of plastic, which now stands at around 311 million tons a year, is expected to quadruple by 2050. This will bring the ratio of plastic to fish in the ocean, calculated according to weight, from 1 to 5 to more than 1 to 1. The report urges people to take action and to rethink the way we use and recycle plastic. It also suggests that manufacturers help reduce plastic waste by producing not only plastic that is reusable but also compostable plastics, a new generation of plastics that are biodegradable through composting.
500 sea lions dead, possibly after eating tons of plastic. Some 500 dead sea lions were discovered decomposing on a beach 250 miles north of the Peruvian capital, Lima, possibly after ingesting massive amounts of plastic, polluting the waters. The North Pacific Gyre, one of the world's largest ocean gyres, is often referred to as the Pacific Trash Vortex due to the high concentrations of floating plastic debris. Due to rotational currents, trash is captured from across the Pacific Ocean, including the coastal waters off North America and Japan, and then is gradually moved towards the North Pacific Gyre Center, where it becomes trapped. The Pacific Trash Vortex is estimated to be around 2,200 kilometers long and 800 kilometers wide, almost 3 times the size of Spain and Portugal combined. The vortex is made up of some 100 million tons of plastic, including large objects or disintegrated objects and particles. About half of them float atop the ocean's surface, while the remaining, heavier half can be found in the water columns below it or along the bottom of the ocean. The United Nations Environment Program estimates that worldwide, each square mile of ocean water contains 46,000 pieces of garbage. Plastic does not biodegrade, meaning it does not break down into natural elements. Rather, it photodegrades, gradually splitting into small, tiny particles. When small enough, it can be ingested by aquatic organisms, and therefore is able to enter the food chain.
Climate change is shrinking reindeer. Santa may need more than just 9 reindeer to pull his sleigh this year, as researchers find the iconic Arctic animals are literally shrinking. An adult reindeer in Svalbard in the Norwegian Arctic weighed 55 kilograms in 1994. In 2015, one weighed just over 48 kilograms, a 12% decrease. Before, the animals could just brush snow off and eat moss and lichen during the region's 8-month-long winters. But with temperatures going up, rain that falls on existing snow freezes, creating a hard ice that is difficult for reindeer to penetrate, which keeps them from reaching food below. Lack of calories has led to stunted growth and has caused pregnant females to either abort their young for survival or give birth to smaller calves. In summer, warmer weather brings in an abundant food supply that results in more yet smaller reindeer, as well as more competition for scarce food during winter. Scientists believe there's a possibility that even higher temperatures could lead to shorter winters, making food more available for reindeer to produce heavier offspring. For now, though, that remains a distant hope.
SEABIN device designed to keep the ocean clean. Australian surfers Andrew Turton and Pete Kuglinski, who are also best friends, decided to do something after they became frustrated with the amount of trash that was floating in the ocean waters that they spent much of their childhood playing in. The duo quit their jobs and invented the SEABIN, which is what they hope will be a sustainable way to reduce the amount of garbage that is polluting the world's waters. Built from recycled materials, the SEABIN is fixed to a dock with a water pump that runs on shore power. The pump brings water through the SEABIN, which allows the natural fiber bag inside the device to catch the floating rubbish and debris before water is pumped back out. Users have the option of installing an oil and water separator to the pump to clean the water that flows through it before the water is allowed to flow back into the ocean. The SEABIN is lined with a natural fiber catch bag that collects floating debris. When the bag is full, it can be changed with another clean one, and the collected debris can be disposed of responsibly. Turton and Kuglinski are trying to raise enough capital to turn the SEABIN prototype into a reality. According to Australia's ABC News, crowdfunding has helped the two men raise $50,000 for commercial production, and a video of the SEABIN in action has attracted more than 10 million hits online.